Ah, now's the time to be, you all. Good morning, Baltimore, on this chilly, rainy day. Are you glad to be alive? Did you wake up this morning and say, "Go God, thank you for another day"? I know we sometimes don't remember to do that because we take it for granted. But without that oxygen, I tell you, to breathe, there is no new day. So I hope you, if you haven't, just say, "Thank you, Lord, for another day, another time, another opportunity to get it right." Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore, where information is power, but it's not power if you do nothing with it. And we do something about it. And hopefully you're going to call in today at 410-481-1010 and let us know your thoughts and your solutions to some of the questions we're going to have today. Please say hello to my anchors, co-anchors, Mr. Richard Terry. How are you, Richard?
Well, today is going to be one of those days, but I just have this opening for everybody.
What is the opening?
And that's for you, and if James is there.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, we have a job to do. Let's go to work.
Let's get to work. Let's talk. Amen, 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 amen. Brother Moran, are you there?
I'm here.
Well, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Baltimore.
Well,
from a remote location.
Yes, sir. We know. I was thinking about you. James is on his way to Europe to do a series of concerts. You all know he's a great singer, and he goes over there frequently. And he's going to France, and in France is having a national strike. And I just I was praying about it as I was walking around the house, and just praying for your safety, my brother, and a successful tour for you, so that you might bless the people with the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. We wish you the best there. Now. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I thank you. Well, it was a twofold trip. It was one part to London and one part to Paris.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Paris part, just so you know now, has been canceled because there's so much unrest in France. And it's not getting publicity. It's not getting media coverage, but the schools are closed. The hotel actually returned the payment for the hotel because they don't know how they're going to accommodate the customers.
Mm-hmm.
Schools, police are going to be on strike. All transportation is going to be on strike.
Yeah. I was a little leery about flying into there, because if the transportation is on strike, that means the air controllers ain't coming in, right?
Well, they haven't announced that yet, but I suspect that there will be massive slowdowns all over Europe.
Yeah.
I'll be in England, so hopefully it won't bleed over into England. But
Heathrow is like Atlanta. It's a main hub for Europe, isn't it? Everybody
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm glad that then you won't be having to face that. I really am.
I won't have to face that part, but the president is now in England, so I'm not sure what kinds of demonstrations we might encounter as a result of that.
I know the prime minister there told him don't come near him while he's there. He would not take a meeting with him because he knows that would be definitely not good for him. Because I think they have an election coming up soon. But NATO is happening there, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But right now, before we go any further, let us bow our heads. If you're near radio, we ask you to touch it. If you're driving, just don't close your eyes. Just think along with us and let us all become one today. On this day, Lord, we thank you for another day. We give you all the praise and we give you all the glory, oh God. Even in our not understanding sometimes, even in our disbelief sometimes, oh God, we know that there's something greater than us. And we bless you, oh God, because you are God and you are God alone, oh God. Oh, they made up all this stuff about who you are, about you get angry with people and you are a revengeful God. I believe none of that. I believe you are love and that it is people who are revengeful. Bless us, oh God. Make us one. Lift us up in this city as one, oh God. Help us to forgive one another, oh God, and to reclaim one another and to restore one another, oh God. Lord, help us, oh God, just to be more merciful and kind to one another. Oh Lord, but I ask you mostly to just stir up in the people a sense of community, that we, as we come into these elections for 2020, oh God, that we would vote in ways that we've never voted before, so that we might change the city to be what we would like for it to be, which is a place where you can say that you reside in our hearts. Oh God, bless our children, oh God. Bless each and every one of them and every family that has them, oh God. Bless those that are in the hospitals, oh God, those that woke up this morning, couldn't go to work because they didn't feel good, oh Lord. Touch them right now, oh God. Somebody might be terminally ill, oh God. Give them hope, oh God. Bring laughter and bring joy into their lives, oh God, so that they might be at peace during this trial. We love you and we thank you, oh God. We love you and we bless your name for the peace that you give that passes all understanding. In times when we don't know where to turn to, you are always there. You will not pass us by ever. You say, lo, I'm with you always, oh God. So we thank you for that assurance. In thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. Amen and amen. Well, all right, James, I got you. What happened? Oh, and then Jason is sitting right beside me. You know, it's like if I was married to him, he'd probably beat the boo-boo out of me after the show. You don't never think about me. That ain't true at all, please.
You don't introduce me to none of your friends.
Yeah, right. Well, I've introduced you to a lot of my friends. Jason is a unique human being. Then y'all please say hello also to our producer and co-anchor, Mr. Jason Rodriguez. How are you today, Jay?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here with you as always. Good morning, family, and blessed to be on this side of the window.
Yes, man.
As opposed to on the control booth. But
yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to remind everyone we are now streaming live on Facebook, Periscope, as well as YouTube. So you can check in on, it's only me in the studio and Patrick Henderson in all of his glory this morning.
Yes, we have some guests joining us a little later. But I also would like to let you all know that that those of you that don't know, first of all, go Ravens. Go Ravens. There are some people who believe that the Ravens are a distraction. I think it's the best thing that's happened to us in years, simply because we have some hope. You know, and without hope, we are nothing. We got to keep hope alive. You got to keep believing. Got to keep believing that there's a better day coming. But you can hope all day long, but you got to get up off your knees and off of your feet and get it moving. Start talking to people. We've got to change this city, and we can do it. We have the power. I was talking to Richard this morning about, I believe was that you, James, about the 7th District?
Yes.
And your thoughts about that?
Well, my thoughts are that it's going to be a splintered race. With 32 people running, it's going to be very difficult for somebody to emerge as the candidate. We have Maya Rockemore Cummings, who is now under a cloud of suspicion based on her leadership of the Democratic Party in Maryland. And so there have been several articles that have come out related to that. And then we have Kwesi Mfume, who is a known quantity, but who also has a past which people continue to want to bring up. And then we have Kimberly Klacik on the Republican side, who seems to be a status seeker and who is not wedded to the 7th District. She lives in Middle River, but I don't know how she wants to represent that particular district, the 7th District. And then we have, Jill Carter, we have Talmadge Branch, we have so many people that it is possible in this particular election, because it's so splintered, that someone completely unknown to the 7th District may emerge as a winner, which that's what I'm suspecting. And,
what is our
it
biggest?
doesn't make me happy.
What is our biggest fear here? Our biggest fear here is that if we lose the seat to a non-black person, which has held it for decades, right? Is that's what we're scared of? That this is going to happen with all of these different people running and everybody coming with baggage of some kind, and the scrutiny and us not voting as avidly as we should, as ferociously as we should, we stand a chance of losing this seat forever, right?
I believe that once it's lost, it's going to be lost forever.
Yeah. How was Cummings able to keep it for so long?
Well, I think he had a good coalition. He had folks in Columbia, folks all over the city that had been touched in some way. There was a large Jewish faction in Baltimore that supported him.
Go ahead, Richard.
So he was able to build that coalition.
Hit the big one right on the nail. It's that Upper Park Heights coalition that reached out to their counterparts in the county.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's the second time I've heard that today. Okay, I don't care where their counterparts are, they're counterparts, and that's the key word right there. And someone said to me this morning, and that they vote in blocks.
In blocks, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said. They vote in blocks.
I said the same thing a long time ago. And this is what. And you asked the question: could they lose the seat? And the answer to that is yes. Because right now you got to watch what's going to happen with Baltimore County and Howard County. If those counties vote as a block, and then you're going to have the plurality problem coming in from the city, because you have all of these city Democrats who have their own constituencies and their own power and their own base of voters. That's going to split the city to shreds. So that leaves a very open door for the counties to vote as a block and take it.
Let me. Bubby, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well. I spoke with you, and we were talking about the fact that a lot, and that was from the state standpoint that we were just talking about. Let's move it a little closer to home. I'm told that a majority of the city council does not even live in the city. Is that true?
Well, I cannot speak on specific names, but that has always been the concern of city residents, that the people who elected to represent us, to be the reason they so distant from us, they does not live in the conditions or see the conditions that we see of the community every day. They live within where you can have 3 Baltimores and people get on TV and say that we're a unified city.
So if I remember right, in one councilmatic district that was up in a predominantly African American neighborhood, if I remember right, years ago, the council person for that district lived in a condo downtown.
That was Ricky Spector, if I remember.
You talking about Ricky Spector, but
right.
You just mentioned that when you said that the Jewish people vote in blocks. She received the block vote of the Jewish people, and it was common knowledge that she did not live in 21215. But yet again, she was allowed to represent 21215 for decades. So that tells you something about 21215.
Right. And also, there was some really big voting discrepancies up there. They were changing the voting places and didn't even tell the people on the day.
This is the Patrick. Especially the big part was when they began to put that ShopRite up there, and they were taking out a lot of those businesses in that Gwen Oak corridor.
Well, everybody wanted that grocery store there, though.
Well, I know they did, but there were some
problems.
There were some places up there that had been there for decades, and they wiped it out.
Yeah, it was an eyesore. It was an eyesore. But Ricky Spector, that's her cousin, I believe, who owns the ShopRite chain.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's a relative of hers. But nobody was complaining because the community really needed a great grocery store down there, and they need over in the area where Doc is, you know. Yeah. So.
But hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
Hey, Patrick, you lead somewhere where a lot of people are saying you had Representative Elijah Cummings take African American kids to Israel every year, and he didn't take them to Africa.
Right.
And a lot of people where I'm from in Sandtown would say that he was disconnected from the community.
Well, I heard him voice that. He said people were asking him why he took. And in fact, the last conference that I know he had, he said that all those people that wanted him to take kids to Africa needed to give him some African money. Okay, that was his response.
Again, I understand that, but still, the bigger point is, I thought you were bringing up how elected politicians can live outside the district that they represent,
yes,
but
sir.
yet still they claim to represent the people living in those districts.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, this came up years ago, and with the establishment of what came to become called the Blount Rule.
Okay, and what is the Blount Rule?
Where you don't necessarily have to live in the district that you represent.
Well, okay, then if you doesn't live in the district, maybe you can answer this question.
Sure.
What is the criteria for the city councilman as far as what is their scope of work? Because you have city councilman people that get on TV and say they in charge of this subcommittee and this committee, and the committees that they on never meet and they never do anything to affect the lives of the people who they said they there to represent.
Well, Bubby, to be honest with you, and that's an interesting question because I don't know if they publish the meeting times of those committees because there's a sunshine law that says most legislative committees should meet in open.
Right.
And as a result, they should be posting when those committee meetings are being held so there can be citizen involvement and citizen participation.
All right, somebody has a TV or radio or something on. I hear people talking in the background. That's sort of soiling our broadcast and for quality control. I'm going to ask you either to move into a quieter place because the background noise is a little distracting. Thank you. So where does this leave us? Is there in that Blount law? What about the police? Do they have to live here?
No,
they don't.
They don't.
And has anybody? Go ahead.
And I think that there's been some fight over that. They've been trying to make it part of the rules as far as hiring is concerned, but unfortunately, there are labor rules, across the country that really prevent that. You have the Right to Work Act, which allows you to be able to come from another state and be able to take another job in another state. So you can't prevent someone from coming in the state and taking it. No, that's against federal law. And they used to have it, where people would only hire people within their state or, and they wouldn't allow maybe a West Virginian to come in or wouldn't allow somebody from Pennsylvania to come in. And unfortunately, the federal laws protect against that now. So it's a right to work state across the country.
You bring up a point. In Baltimore City, we have a labor commissioner. And this labor commissioner does absolutely nothing to ensure the inclusion of African Americans in these city contracts. If you would drive it's raining today, but any dry day, if you would drive down any major thoroughfare in the city, you would see 40 to 60 Hispanic males and females working while 150 African-American young men and women standing on the corner.
And that's the same thing as far as contracting is concerned, Bubby. You cannot allow another company to come in that may be out of state and compete for a government, whether it's local, state, federal job. You can't prevent them from not applying for that contract.
But when you mentioned, go ahead, Bubby.
Jason, I hear what you're saying, but listen to what I'm saying. We have a labor commissioner. What is the scope of work of labor commissioner when you have a labor commissioner that I know personally that I went to this lady, presented proof of collusion and corruption at the Baltimore City Housing Authority, and I quote what she told me. She had no authority over Baltimore City Housing Authority. And this is my gripe, and it will continue to be my gripe, because if you go back to a couple years ago, you had an issue with where the Jack Young lives. People say that he's not a city resident. But let's go back to what I'm saying about the labor commissioner. Why do we have in this city people with titles with no authority to enforce the titles that it rendered? When we go to city agencies for help, we get a bunch of runaround. That's why I will not vote for Jill Carter for anything.
Now, the only way to really see that is somewhere it has to be written, the scope of work for every agency starting with the head of that agency. It has to be written somewhere.
And have you gone federal? I mean, again, because I know that, we are talking about the Housing Authority, which deals with federal dollars.
Jason.
And federal oversight.
Jason, I met with the Inspector General from HUD in my lawyer's office with the union president of Local 647. They try to say that it's a state agency. The state trying to say that it's a federal agency. The city trying to say that it's a quasi-federal agency. My point in saying this, that it's so much convolution that they all pass the buck and no one want to deal for the issue. Just like we're talking about scope for department heads. Do you know Housing Authority has superintendent? A superintendent supposed to be a well-rounded person in construction knowledge and ability to do the task. They have people that were painters for 40 years now find people for not knowing how to put a toilet in when they never put a toilet in 40 years at the Housing Authority. This is nepotism at its worst, and no one want to deal with it, but I ain't going nowhere for the next 60 years, and I'm going to be hiring from every hilltop that I know to investigate the corruption at the Baltimore City Housing Authority under Janet Abrams.
Well, but none of the candidates are talking about it. I'm finding it really interesting. I am a news junkie. Since my heart attack, my doctor tells me to watch less of it. But when I look at
that's that cash cow. That's that cash cow. Using the Housing Authority to raise enormous amounts for your candidacy have been the way that Baltimore paid to play the game of politics. Let me put it like this. The Housing Authority raised huge amount of money through its contractors and its rendered general contractors for politicians.
But because it's a federal organization, doesn't the federal government audit them? I mean, how are they getting away with this for such a long period of time? Can anybody tell me?
Because you have people like in the mayor office that block the audit because the audit has to come from the federal government, but it has to be requested by either the controller, the mayor, because I know for a fact, under the leadership of Anthony Coates, who was terminated at the Housing Authority, we went to all kind of measures to try to get them to open up the book. And I know I'm taking up your time. I don't mean to take up your time, but I have a problem when you fight against city residents for a 2.0% raise when you're giving yourself a 19% raise and you just changing your job title. Nobody say anything about that.
Wow, right, and nobody's brought it up.
And Patrick, I wanted to add something. So it also falls under interstate commerce laws.
Okay.
So again, you can't prevent someone from doing business in another state.
Okay, Patrick, you asked a question. If I know how a lot of these agencies work, federal agencies are created by Congress in what's called enabling legislation. Then that gets passed down to the state, which creates the state-based agency that would control the funding. And then that state-based agency would then create the city agency in which to administer those funds.
Right.
Now, what has happened, and I've heard this over the years, especially with regards to federal agencies, when there has been an investigation, yes, it has been blocked because somebody from the city has gotten to somebody who's in the federal government in order to get the federal government to block what they're doing.
There's interference on the line.
Yeah, there is. Who is that? I'm sorry.
That might be Bubby out in the
Bubby, are you
workplace.
out in the workplace or something, Bubby? Is that your phone?
Yes, but I'm back. I'm back now.
All right. Please try to get into a quieter place. That's not fair to our listeners.
Okay. Hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
To go to Jason's point, when you have a director like the former executive director Thomas Graziano making $330,000 a year, and no one checked it because people wanted to rebuff what we were saying, that he was receiving two salaries. If you look now at the structure of city housing, they have two. They have a commissioner, which is Michael Braisman, which handle housing and urban development. Then you have Janet Abrams, who handle the Housing Authority of Baltimore City.
They're both being paid twice?
One makes $200,000 a year. The other one makes $190,000 a year. That's $390,000 for the same position. And you wonder why Pew was so crooked when she had people in her department that make more money than her. And her department heads that she hired.
Wow, we're hearing the theme music. I see why we're hearing the theme music, Titus. He's just playing. I'm going, why am I hearing that music? I look up, it's 12 o'clock. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
We're back. Welcome again to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Boy, I tell you what. I got a guest here, and I want to get him in. He thought the show was over at once. I've been sitting here for no reason. Please welcome from the Roots of Scouting, a young man that is just not only a visionary, but very, very effective in the work that he's done. Mr. Malon Butler. Is it Butler? Let me see. What mic is that, Jay? That's, where's that? Mic 4? Okay, there you go.
Mic check.
Yeah, you're on.
All right. Thank you, sir, for having me. I apologize, the tardiness, but you got to take care of family. I just dropped a family member off at the hospital.
Oh, wow.
So, all is well, though. I'm here. Right, made it through the rain.
Well, we're
glad
you're here. Wow, what do we do for the honor of your visitation here today?
Oh man, I have a lot on my mind. And when I got here, listening to what people were talking about, it just added fuel to the, to the fire. So my
Hello?
simple way.
Hold on.
My simple way of really putting it is I've heard a lot of talk. I hear a lot of talk, and I'm looking for people who are actually going to follow through with what they're talking about doing for the campaign. Somebody brought up a very valid point just the other night, was like, you wait until it's election time to tell us what you were going to do with your campaign, but you've been in the seat for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. Why now? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Why now? And if I'm going to re-earn your new platform, right, you're doing something new that you haven't been doing in the 3 years, why don't I just go with somebody new who's already shown me that they've been credible? Mm-hmm. That's just kind of the way that I see that.
I'm with you 100%. I'm one of these Johnny come latelys, like I say, they've been here for years, and then they've done nothing, then expect us to believe they're going to do something if we give them more power. Mm-hmm. That's just not.
They do that in sports. Don't play well to the last year of your contract, then you start, so you can go ahead and get signed for the next 3 or 4. But I have a lot of respect for a few people I've seen out here.
You do? Who are you thinking of? Who are you liking?
So honestly, and this has nothing to do with political insight, but more so character, I have a lot of respect for Mike Jensen right now. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because what I just mentioned earlier, you hear a lot of talk, and everybody's platform sounds great. Mm-hmm. But it means nothing if they don't execute on it. Mm-hmm. And so you find somebody like this who has been doing it. I find 3 ways that he stands out. And the only reason why I highlight this is because I think it's time for our community to just do a new thing. Mm-hmm. We have the power to influence. That means we can get anybody in the seat that we really want. Right? You see where I'm coming from? And so this gentleman here,
opportunity.
The only gentleman who was running, who was a senior citizen, that's 12% of Baltimore City population, automatically. The only one that's connected with the firefighters, right? Internationally, which I just learned the other day, so shout out to him. Mm-hmm. And he is the only man of faith that's actually running right now in the mayoral race.
Who's voicing it anyway.
Who's voicing it, right. But that shows you something as well, to me, in my mind. And so he actually just came through. He sponsored his way through a tour that we're going to be doing. And I appreciate him for that. But more importantly, like I said, you're looking at people who've been doing this action already.
Mm-hmm. I spoke with him one time, and I was impressed. Seems to be a visionary and very open. One thing that I think that we've got to find is someone that thinks out of the box. And someone that realizes the corners that the people of this city have been swept into, and walls built around us not to come out. And Bubby, he often talks about the housing, and that's because these are poor people, right? According to the scale of living, right? And so then these people who are placed over them treat them like they're nothing. And so they get away with abusing them and abusing those departments because these are poor people. Boy, I tell you, people that had a certain income knew the power they have. If they came together, they would scare them people so bad up in there.
Right.
You know, they would scare them so bad like they did when they found out those people were charging sex to fix the stuff in their house. The federal government came in. Am I right, Bubby?
Right.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Yes, they did.
It's institutionalized.
Yeah. So why is it? I feel you on what was his name again?
Brother Michael Jensen.
Brother Michael Jensen. He's running for mayor.
Yes, sir.
Bubby.
Chaplain, known as the chaplain.
He's
Yes,
known as the chaplain.
Known as the chaplain.
Chaplain Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
Yes,
everybody
sir.
knows him in here.
That when I tell you that brother has a nice pull within the community, that's kind of my whole point.
Mm-hmm.
We need people like that. He's put it on his own slide. It's time for Baltimore City to choose a leader, not a politician.
Yeah.
You know, just that
you
idea.
don't know the chaplain? I'm misunderstood, but I understand. You don't remember that saying?
That's him.
That's his saying.
Wow. He said,
I'm
"I'm
misunderstood, but I understand.
but I understand."
deep. That's deep.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, that's a ray of hope up in here because I'm telling you, I just talked to him and I did like him. But you know what? I say we need a leader, but I say we need a shepherd. See, I think that's what's missing. We're getting a bunch of what was his name that was sleeping with the black slave woman, President. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Thomas Jefferson?
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
He
You
said
president.
yeah, right. I mean, it's so long ago. But he said all these traveling evangelists running around here saying that they represent God. And they're doing these terrible things. They go in and do their damage, then they get out of Dodge.
Right.
And he talked about the need for a shepherd. A shepherd's heart.
We need a shepherd with some teeth, though, Patrick.
I ain't talking about
Who is this on the line?
Yeah, no, man.
Who is this on the
That's
line?
but absolutely, we need a shepherd with some teeth, and I mean lion's teeth, okay, and muscles to knock.
We need him to use his staff to bring the injustices that have taken place for decades, and no one has stood on a wall hollering out, "This is wrong."
Right.
When you allow over 310 people to be murdered in the street, and then a lady get carjacked on Boston Street in Upper Fells Point, and it's on every news station.
That's right.
22 minutes.
Right.
Showing it. Something is wrong.
And the city councilman gets on there and says, "We're not having this." I mean, what's his name? Zeke something?
Zeke Cohen.
Zeke Cohen.
Yeah, Zeke Cohen. He got on there and let him know we're not having this. When have you seen a black city council person? Leon Pinkett sometimes is out there saying this needs to stop.
And Christopher Bennett has denounced the councilman.
Christopher Bennett is a wonderful guy. He is. He really is. I'm telling you, I wish he would run for my district. Duh. All right, Leon, I know. But no, I've always liked Christopher. He's worked with Jason so well in getting things done in that community over there where they are. So we need more like him. So you got an event coming up you want to tell us about, Melon?
I do. I have actually 2 events coming up. And again, these were sponsored by Mike Jensen, right? But there is an end of decade tour. So I don't know if you're aware, but actually this December, this is the last month of this decade. What we're trying to do is make history.
Wow, I hadn't thought of it.
It's right. That's a lot, right? Last month of the actual decade. But what we're doing, we're going to 5 black business owners at their brick and mortar location. We're doing fundraisers on site. We're trying to make history in terms of building up those who've been in the community. Black business ownership is something that we need to support. Wow, and so again, that's why I was glad that he was able to sponsor. One of the things we do, we actually have a loyalty card that can connect consumers. Every time you spend your $1 at a black-owned location, you get a reward point back. Every $100 you spend, you get a $10 credit, right? We have to incentivize the people to move. But in the same token, we have 1,000 cards. By the end of this happy hour tour, we're going to have 1,000 card holders, which means 1,000 registered shoppers of black businesses. That lets us go to all the black business owners and say, guess what? Now, from the power of the community, we can increase your business revenue monthly, whether we do a fundraiser at your site or not. Because when people see you in the directory and know they could shop at your spot,
this is why I had you on that keyword directory.
Yes, sir.
I told y'all last week about our dear brother and friend, Brother Conan, over on 92Q, who has a restaurant over on right after you pass 95.
Raw Lounge.
It's called Raw Lounge. They changed the name. It used to be the Loafers over there.
Loafers too.
Loafers
that's
too.
right. You told me because we could right put them on the schedule. That'd be a great happy hour stop. Let's do it.
Exactly. Excellent food, excellent service, and we know y'all done grow. All of us have grown up. If you're from Baltimore, you know Conan since he was a teenager,
right.
And we want to give him some business and go and patronize and help our people. I love this idea of having that loyalty card.
Absolutely. Well, so you guys, everybody can come get one. We're going to be at Shake and Bake this Wednesday.
Okay.
At the Bake, as everybody calls it.
Okay.
We're going to be there from 4 to 9.
Okay.
Mr. Chris Booker, Sekou the Elder, they sat down with me, worked out a plan of how we can get people in the door. They actually want to open up to the loyalty card in all 8 of their specialty locations, but it's going to start with Shake and Bake.
Wow,
we'll be selling the cards right then and there, and it'll give you access to all the other tour stops that we do.
Okay, and the cards are how much?
$30. $30 right now. It gives you access to 5 locations, 15% discount at Grub Fact December 18th, 5% discount at Noir Lounge and Restaurant December 11th. All you guys have to do is show your card at the door.
Wow.
You actually can get 5 free youth with you to Shake and Bake too if you show your card at the door.
You get 5 youth?
5 youth can walk in that door for free that night, December 4th, this Wednesday from 4 to 9. 2 hours of bowling, 3 hours of skating. We have, like I said, people sponsoring, people who'll be vending. And then we have our 2 lanes of bowling.
They renovated it, Shake and Bake. Is it nice?
2 nights. It's real nice, man. Have you haven't been in there since?
No, I haven't been
gosh,
in
man. So they have 2 floors, right? The bowling alley is on the bottom floor. The roller skating rink is on the top. It's clean as a whistle, man. And
is?
Every time you walk in there, the food is smelling right. It's clean. Everybody's happy. It's a nice ambiance.
So y'all's former Mayor Pugh did do something for us, huh? Everybody was ticked off because she closed it down. But boy, I tell you, that's good news.
Yes.
I know Leo. That was one of his pet places.
I'm holding on to Brother Burroughs' autograph right now in my car. I have a picture with him and some of the history of Shake and Bake. I don't recall exactly the name of the gentleman he's shaking hands with. Mm-hmm. If he's listening in, I'm sure he'll call in.
Yeah, he most likely
does. He is, Brother Burroughs.
All right. Bubby, did you have anything else? Was that it? Malon, I want to thank you.
No.
I want to thank you. Go ahead. You got one. Yeah, hold on for a minute, Bubby. Go ahead, Malon. Okay. You got something else?
I'm open. I mean, if we're still listening, like I said, we had 2 events. We do have a game in Bowie. So a lot of this loyalty card has started to stretch from Baltimore all the way out to PG County, targeting spot like Jody's Milk and Honey restaurant, if you guys are familiar. But what's happened is one of the affiliates from our co-op is hosting an education-based game in Bowie State University. He's doing Harlem Wizard game, just like the Globetrotters, like exhibition basketball, right? Bringing about 1,000 people in.
Wow.
And so we are taking people, anybody that's looking to make a pledge to help support and get some youth there. We're taking pledges and letting people know this opportunity is going to be an annual thing that we do, and it's going to be a great thing. We always want to just shout out and plug out opportunities that's going on in the city and outside of them.
Yes, man. Yes. We all we got, and we all we need. We have the money in our pockets, and we go and we put it in the hands of people that are not really they care about us. Right. In fact, I want to tell this story, and I see you, Robert. I see you, Lady Di. I want to tell this story. I was on George Mitchell's show the other day called The Heights, and he told the story of this Korean businesswoman who lives in an $800,000 house. And he went to visit her. She was evidently someone he had known for a long time. And he asked her, he says, how can you afford to live in this amazing house with just one business in the black community? She said, oh, black people don't count their change. He said, what? She said, black people don't count their change. Everybody that comes in her store, she takes 25 cents from them. And she has over 1 million transactions a year in that little store. Okay, because there's a food desert around there. So everybody's got to come to her to buy bread, milk, eggs, whatever they need, sugar. They go to her.
Right.
So if she takes a quarter from everybody that comes in there, that's $250,000 a year tax-free money.
Right. But see, that is what's in my mind, because we always can do something like that and build from it is what I look at. And I know a lot of, what do they call it, the roundup, or there's something that they do with store owners where you can round your dollar up. So if it's, let's say $17.35, you can round it up to $18, make it even money, right? I think we should do something like that. We're planning to do that with that loyalty card so that we can take percentages out of each hit and give it to nonprofits that are doing things like Roots of Scouting in the city.
Well, I hear you, but my message is y'all need to start counting y'all change.
Yes, yeah,
that's what y'all need to do.
Is.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Because of George Mitchell's broadcast, the next day I went to this little fancy restaurant. They got the best quiche in the world. I know y'all say, "What, Patrick? What is quiche?" It ain't nothing but scrambled eggs with cheese and vegetables in it, done in a crust. But I just love it. It's one of my favorite meals, and this place has some of the best quiche. And so the lady when I got through, she gave me a receipt, and I just happened to look at it, and the receipt was $20 and 27 cents. And I said, okay. She said, oh, just a minute. Then she went back in, came back with another receipt, and it was $40.27. I said, how did that happen that quickly? She said, oh, let me look at it. If I wouldn't have looked at it, I would have paid her $40 twice what it was. We've got to stop being so trusting of people. We've got to start valuing our money. Your change is your change, not theirs. You paid them for their services, for their goods. Count your money. Teach your children. No, sir, you count that money. And on my Facebook page, it's almost 300 people responding, talking about experiences they've had with people shortchanging them. Y'all, we don't look at it. We look at that dollar, and there's a few cents left. We don't look at that. I used to laugh as a kid, and when I see the Mickey D signs that said 39 billion burgers sold, what was I thinking about? Figure out how much money that was. And at that time, there was a quarter a burger or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but 39 billion, do y'all understand what them pennies add up? I don't throw away pennies. I got one of them big water jugs. Man, I'll put that money in there.
After my own heart.
Yes, Lord. And even when I got a few bills, exactly right, when I got a bunch of ones, I'll stuff them in there too. Because you never know when you're going to need them. And we got to stop thinking of money. Oprah contends, she says that money treats you like you treat it. If you don't respect money, it won't respect you. And the Africans believe that if you leave money laying around on the floor or in different places, they believe it brings more money. Okay, I know everybody's got their own little things, but I'm telling you, money is money. I don't care if it's 1 cent, it's your money. You stack it, you get 5 of them, that's a nickel. You get 10 of them, that's a dime. You get 100 of them, that's $1. We just got to start thinking about teaching your children to think about it. I don't care. Count your change.
And that needs to start early. I hear a lot of people talking about programs and doing for high school, entrepreneurship, learn how to. That's great. No, we need to catch them in middle school, late elementary. Catch them while they're still, sensitive to being taught. Yeah. And they need to grow up instead of relearning it. They just need to learn something the right way.
They need to learn it from the beginning. My kids, when they in my after school program, they had a birthday. I said, how much you get? I got $100, Miss Henderson. Give me $10. No. Well, I'm gonna give you my money because you're gonna spend the whole 100 and you need to save 10 of that. Right. So when you want something that you really want, you got it. Yes. Oh, okay, I got you.
Right.
They understood it, like you say, but this is to 8 to 10-year-olds.
Right.
They understand. Okay, now I always have go put it in your drawer, put it under your bed. Don't tell nobody where it is.
Mm-hmm. I know a group that did something similar. They had every dollar that they brought in, 50% of it immediately was put in savings.
Yes.
They gave them the other 50 to play with. They said, if you can't buy what you want,
that 50.
You're going to see it the next round.
Man, let me tell you.
Rites of passage.
Yes, it is. But we got to teach them. We got to stop thinking they born with knowledge. They are not. Yeah. Robert, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
How you doing, Patrick?
I'm good. Thank you for holding.
Hey, look, I'm glad y'all bringing up the fact about black economics, in the Korean community.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you a little story that happened about 6 o'clock in the morning on the Petey Green show. Aaron Burr came on the show with Petey Green, and they ripped those Koreans up over Washington. And then Aaron Burr let them know that they don't even as much as sponsor baseball caps.
Yeah, right.
Little leagues.
Right.
T-shirts.
Right.
And it gets me over here. That we can go over there and they call mom and pop, and all that stuff, and these people don't give 2 hoots about
not a hoonie, not a hoonie.
I just want to get on to another thing too. Let's stop. Look, these Central American people come up over here, and they come over here under the NAFTA bill, and that's a bill that Bill Clinton signed for trade. And that George Bush, he co-signed it. And see, these people came over here, they was prepared because they knew they was going to get in. And most of these contracts, and you got Sheila Dixon when she come over there, if she want to tell the truth, all these contracts were sitting on their desk all this time while the minority contractors was crying about not getting an equal chance in here. And you see all the work that's being done in Baltimore City, and all the brothers and sisters standing on the corner watching them work. Those contracts been on the table for 35 years.
Well, you know what? You don't know me real well, but Jason will tell you that when I see it, and I see a work in a city or work patrol or whatever, I pulls my car over and I go and ask them, when I don't see no black people, why aren't there black people working here? There's always, most of the time, there's a black supervisor, okay, that comes out of the back. And I say, where's the supervisor? Over there, they'll say in Spanish or whatever. They don't speak much English. And I'll ask them, why aren't there black people out here? And you know what they say to me? It never fails. He said, these people get to work before time here. They don't tell you what their job description is. They work until we say time to go. He said they're always here. They never miss. They're reliable. He says, and they seem to be the best hires. And I said, but what about the appearance of it? He says, sir, we have responsibilities. We have dates and times we have to meet. We can't be worried about other people. That's what I'm getting. Y'all can look at me cross-eyed and say, Patrick, no, I've been in black businesses where there were no black people working in there in the back in the kitchen. In fact, they teach them how to cook our food. Then they go open up a restaurant. There's a restaurant over there next to Sam's. Right. You can't get in there, and the food is good.
So, and even those that are coming into the country, I mean, look at Hip Hop Chicken. I mean, who do you see in the back frying chicken?
Yeah, the Arabs,
Hispanics.
Well, everybody know the detail over here in America. If you want to get rich quick, come to the black community.
Yes, sir.
That's
nothing new.
Right, that's a great point.
Shop here, you don't see them setting up shop nowhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
You get them to go down to the Irish community and see who's running the Irish community.
Right.
These are things that we need to be stepped up on here. And there's no excuse for this kind of nonsense and development that they have when we question them.
Well,
so the things has already been set up that they was going to exclude the young black men and women in this country. Period.
Brother, you right on the money, because it's like they talk about it like we don't have any money, but again, why does everybody keep moving in here? But then they go back to their Irish town. They leave and pull those resources out. So it's for us. We got to be more selective.
Yeah, man, because I always tied in, and I know I'm correct in it. I tie in the stop and fish with the point that all they wanted to do was felonize us young men so we couldn't get jobs.
Right. And see, thank you.
As long as they got a record and
thank you, because let's address it.
That was the excuse of the organized exclusion.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's address it. Let's not act like we weren't marginalized and put into this institution. Right. Still by some, it is for us at a certain point in time to break the cycle, sure, and we could take professionalism class, do all that, and learn how to really do it. But we can't act like this wasn't forced on us in the state that we are right now.
I agree with you. Andre Irving, thank you for watching. Gary Butler, thank you for watching. Irene Williams, I love you, bless you. Somebody named Bill Rollins said, let me guess, that it's going to start saying fire Janet Abrams. People have been coming on here saying she should be fired right after she got the job, sir. So you're a little late. Absolutely, everybody's saying that. Oh, Terrence Barksdale, please get in touch with Jason. I want to interview you. You're a fascinating person to me. Taurus Barksdale.
Hey, shout out to Taurus Barksdale. We know we talking about people who are running city council. That brother tell me the district. Every time I talk to him, and still never get it right. So I ain't going to mess it up on the air. But y'all need to check him out and support this somebody. If I have my facts straight, you're coming out the Be More Beautification Project. And I appreciate that line of work, too, because it's like people who are on the ground, ready to load, you know what I'm saying, and respond to situations. So somebody from a Trump campaign came in talking about Baltimore City's rat infested, and that is their obligation to clean up the community like they really give one, right? So Be More Beautification, they went and did their thing. They got out there, reached out to my group. I'm connected with a group, Big Blue Hall, and we've been doing monthly cleanup since last year. We just all ended up coming together and responding to this because it's like, again, this is our city.
Yes,
and
man.
that sense of ownership starts young. And what I love is we had young people coming out with us too. From that cleanup to the next cleanup.
Sure, man.
We were from there to Edmondson Village.
We have the power.
Right.
If these people rose up in this, so Taurus, please either call in right now and we can talk to you. But I've been wanting to get your book. Man, you come from an incredible family. And so we thank you for watching. And Keith Scott is watching. Those of you who would like to look up on us, you can go to Facebook. Go to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Facebook.
Or if you're not on Facebook, you can go to YouTube, or you can go to Periscope, which is the Twitter version of Facebook Live.
And you can call in at 410-481-1010. 410-481-1010. And you're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. We're going to go to Lady Di. Hi, Di. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning to all of y'all. I don't know everybody's name, so I'm going to say good morning to everybody.
Hello,
good morning,
sister.
sister.
Good morning. I want to say something. When Bubby's still on the phone.
No, he's not.
Okay, because when he said that Housing Authority doesn't do, the department I worked in resident service, we always got audited. We got audited twice a year. It was somebody came in from the federal and also somebody came in from the city. We had to have 7 years of work that we had to keep always. We couldn't throw anything away until after they came and did the audit.
Huh.
I mean, and they did this. Now, if it changed, it must have changed under Graziano, but it did not change and I was there when Graziano first came in.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but when I hear that, I'm like, Housing Authority, and yeah, we were a federal, also state,
agency,
also local, so that made us a quasi part of the city.
Right, that's what I've been saying.
We did their holidays and everything. Mm-hmm. We did everything that the city holidays and stuff like that. But we had our own personnel, and they still have their own personnel. They say located at 417 East Fayette Street, and it wasn't over there on Baltimore and Calvert Street where all the other city agencies were. No, we had our own personnel. We just use the city holidays and stuff. Things like that. But when he talks about Janice Abrams need to go, he did not know. She was going to leave when she first got there because I talked to her. Mm-hmm. And, I got to know her really well. Mm-hmm. And she said because the people in Baltimore City treated her like I don't know what. Mm. And she had just got here. And she was so scared because she had never seen this wherever she worked at before. She never seen this.
Culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
But the lady that's in charge of the whole, the East Coast part of HUD, her office is down there where the old federal bank used to be at, down there off 395. And she always tells us that to watch them because they doing stuff that they have no business doing. And this lady's in charge of all of them, but she stays out of town a lot. And, she's in charge of, she has New York, she has Philadelphia, and I think she has D.C. It's a couple of states that she has. She's up and down the Eastern Seaboard. Mm-hmm. So, so even when they had the grand opening for Somerset in Old Town Mall, mm-hmm. she said, y'all got to be my eyes and ears. Mm-hmm. So, there has people always know that there is money was being diverted. Mm-hmm. And going to different places. Mm-hmm. And Zeke Owens, when you talk about him, mm-hmm. and what he said, the neighbors are not going to stand it. He also formed, I don't know if I mentioned this, he formed a Southeast Safety Task Force. Mm-hmm. And what it is from all different communities, no matter how much money you make or whatever, it's for public safety. Mm-hmm. In the Southeast area. So he included public housing. He was the only city council person that I knew that included public housing in this task force. Wow. Yes, and he comes down, he's not my city council person, mm-hmm. but he comes in the community. He said, because I want everybody to be treated fairly.
Sounds like Christopher Burnett.
He said, I want everybody to be treated fairly. He said,
hold on. Brother Barksdale, I'm coming to you. Jen, listen, thank you, Diane, so much and stuff. I wish Bubby could have been on so you guys could have gone back and forth and to try to help us clear this out.
Next week. And, I just want to send prayers out to G.I. Johnson's whole family. He was the president of Baltimore NAACP, Baltimore City branch, and he passed away. His funeral was right now. I couldn't go because I didn't have nobody to watch my mom. That's right where Doc is at.
All right, sweetheart. All right, love you. Thank you for all you do. All right. Okay, you're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Don't touch that dial.
So beware. question you never had once you realize it wasn't worth it.
The new 1010 WOLB with talk in the day and soul at night.
Are you close to losing your home to foreclosure? Do you not even open up the mail anymore because of constant threats to garnish your wages or take away your home? Don't get more and more frustrated with the system. Use it to your advantage. Often you can find bankruptcy protection and keep your home and other assets. And now the Foreclosure Assistance Center is here to help you and do it for less. They are offering a low fixed rate of just $500 a file for bankruptcy. So call them today at 410-415-3777. The attorneys at the Foreclosure Assistance Center have over 20 years of experience in helping homeowners save their homes and stop the harassment from creditors. Take action now. It's far more expensive to get out of it the longer you wait. Do it now. Call 410-415-3777 or visit foreclosureassistancemd.com for a $500 bankruptcy. Get out of debt now. Stop the harassment and keep your property. Call 410-415-3777 today. That's 410-415-3777. Or check out foreclosureassistancemd.com. They are a debt relief agency helping people file bankruptcy under the bankruptcy code.
If you have Medicare, the deadline for annual enrollment is here. Make sure your plan is still the right fit with a free service from Health Markets. Health Markets' new Fit Score compares thousands of Medicare plans from national insurance companies. In minutes, you'll know if your current plan is the right fit or if there's one that can get you extra coverage, let you keep your doctor, and save you money. Health Markets could help you find plans with $0 copays, $0 deductibles, and $0 premiums, or plans with dental and vision coverage for no additional cost. You could even find plans that offer benefits for hearing aids, diabetic supplies, or gym memberships, or vitamins, meal delivery, and transportation to your appointments. Best of all, their service is free. The deadline for Medicare enrollment is here, and the wrong plan could cost you thousands. Don't put it off. For this smart, unbiased, and free service, go to healthmarkets.com for details, or call 800-694-4542. That's 800-694-4542. 800-694-4542.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
Welcome back to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Boy, I tell you what, it's a hot line today. People calling me in on my private line telling me stuff. Oh, I tell you what, we rolling up in here today, but right now I want to talk to Brother Barksdale. How are you, Tars? Hello? Phone, I've got that. Let me see here. That's line 3. Brother Barksdale, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now. Sorry, I stuck my finger in the wrong hole again, but I got you this time. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I was just, randomly, listening to the radio show, and I heard my name. So I'm like, I have to call in now.
Well, I'm glad you did. You're known in this room. I tell you, I've only read about you. I read about your book and was getting ready to order it, but I really I'm going to get it and would love to interview you. You have such a history.
When you say book, that's another Barksdale. His name, he goes by the name of Tater Barksdale. I've spoken to him, and I'm sure we're like a distant cousin, but his name is Tater Barksdale. I'm Taurus Barksdale.
Yeah, you're the one responsible. You grabbed up the young
Squeegee Boys.
Yes,
I've been doing the higher. I started the higher Squeegee Boy Challenge. We also been doing big, large scale cleanups around the city. So I've been pretty active. Been trying to keep active, doing positive things in the community.
Are you working with Micah with the Squeegee Boys, or are you doing something different than with Micah?
Say it again, please.
Micah is doing an incredible program. They had those kids out there by their school, and what they did was they took them in and taught them how to run a business, and then gave them a label to start their own bottled water company. And so they're working with them. So what do you tell us about your program?
Well, I have a small black-owned business,
So I was able to use, the leverage of my business to, just go around hiring these guys. I do moving, hauling, different things of that nature. And in the spring of the spring of 2019, I challenged the city. I started to hire a Squeegee Boy Challenge, where I was challenging, different business owners to reach out and, just hire these guys, because a lot of these young men, they were just, simply looking for jobs. You can go out in the morning, you can catch some of these guys out 6 o'clock in the morning, ready to work. So that's what I've just been using my personal business to, hire these young men. And also, even with we started a nonprofit, the Baltimore Beautification Project, where we hire not only Squeegee, the youth that Squeegee, but we hire different other, underprivileged groups, as far as, returning citizens coming home from jail, just anyone looking for, work. We hire them to, clean up the community.
Wow, man, that's just fantastic. It is really good, and I'm just like want to. We've got a group of young men that are just coming in that are doing some incredible things. But this is the way that we're going to change Baltimore: is when we take our hands and our feet. We are the hands, we are the mouth, we are the feet, we are the heart of our people, to love one another and figure out a way, especially with our young people, because without the youth, man, there's just no future. I don't care what you're trying to do. Without young people, there's just no growth to happen, because we older people are getting sick and getting tired and moving on.
Yes, sir.
And no matter what we want to do, I'm 70 years old, and I tell you what, I've been sicker. I've never been sick before. Had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. Okay, and 3 months ago I had prostate cancer, and had never been sick. So I'm telling you all, man, we have got to start putting into our young people and letting them know that they're the ones that are going to make the change and sustain the change and build the infrastructure for our people here in this city, where we are the majority population. Thank you so much, Mr. Barksdale. Anytime you would like to, you got something going on and you'd like for us to know about it, please feel free to, Jason.
Yeah, you can reach out to me on Facebook. You can direct message me, and we'll work together.
And we have a cleanup this Saturday in Park Heights, Overview Road and Norfolk Avenue. I found a large illegal dumping site. We're going to clean that up this weekend, this Saturday. Anybody, if you would like to join, we're open for anybody to help us out. They can reach out to me, Facebook, anywhere. Taurus Barksdale. We have a cleanup this Saturday.
This Saturday, and give them a number where they can reach you.
Yeah, they can call my phone 443-473-9984. Once again, that's 443-473-9984. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you, man, for all that you do. Thank you so much. Well, my anchors, y'all have been pretty quiet going through here. Richard?
I'm still here. I've learned that there are situations where nothing needs to be said.
Well, amen to that. But I mean, the information has just been coming. This is a blessed day. This is a blessed day, because I see so much hope, and I hear so much hope. We've got a group of young men in here now. One of them I do know, and Civ, y'all know Civ, family here at Radio 1 called
Peace, Patrick. Peace, Baltimore.
When I saw him walking up with, of course, they're welcome here. Would you get on the mic and tell us who you are and your group that you work, a group called Keys?
What's up, Baltimore? Abdul Salam of Keys and Powers, Better Baltimore. As a one, we here for the day of 10,000 strong. We here with some special guests as well, Patrick.
Yes. You want to introduce them?
Absolutely, and I'll let them, even better yet, introduce themselves. We bring some special guests down from New York.
How you doing today? My name is Myson. I'm a hip-hop artist and activist, founder of Kings Raising Kings, and also co-founder of Until Freedom.
Until Freedom.
Yes.
He's got a hat on the top of his head that says "Soul Not for Sale."
Soul Not for Sale. That's my mantra.
Well, man, I tell you what, you can't sell your soul.
Not at all. Because if you sell that, you ain't got nothing left.
Nothing left. Nothing left. Yes, sir.
Peace. My government name is Sean Duke McFadden. I'm also known as Trife Gangster. I'm the founder and CEO of GMAC Incorporated, which stands for Gangsters Making Astronomical Community Changes. And we're a nonprofit based in New York City, but preferably in Brooklyn. And we mediate conflicts and bringing down the shootings and the violence in New York City.
Wow. Ma, they had a couple of weeks ago where they had no crime in New York City, and I'm going, wait a minute, what are they talking about? This is impossible. That's too many people. So you're working in your community to change these things and to build relationships with these young people. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a fact. I'm one of the first adolescents on the East Coast to join the Bloods.
Wow.
So I come from that. I'm well known for that. I spent a lot of time in and out the prison system. And I decided to change my life to save my children and other children from not going through that. And we focus on stopping the shootings first and foremost. How do we stop us from killing us? So where I'm at in my neighborhood, one of our neighborhoods is East Flatbush in Brooklyn, which is one of the top 3 precincts a few years ago. Right now, we got over 500 days of no murders in the neighborhood that used to have murders regularly.
Really? Well, we got to talk to you. We got to talk fast because we ain't got that much time left. Oh, sir, yes, you're next, please. Oh, Malon, that's not. Here, won't you change seats with water there? Look
y'all
at
already know what it is with me, but I support this. I'm actually on my way to this event right now, so support.
That's what's up.
Hello. I'm Larry Shaw. I'm a social entrepreneur here, also known as Geechee Motivator. I'm a partner with Keys and definitely supportive of these brothers doing powerful things for us.
All right.
And I don't want to forget anybody, Patrick, because we here representing so many individuals today with the day of 10,000 strong. We want to shout out Picasso Cuts and Stand Up Baltimore, WMSK Online Radio, BTN, Dave Cowser, Terra Cafe, and all of the sponsors that have been a part of putting today together to strengthen Baltimore.
And today is, and what's going on today in particular?
So today we have the Day of 10,000 Strong, which is a series, a continuum of events that'll be happening throughout the day. We started this morning at Connections High School, in which we had the Praise Tunnel, bringing our students back, our scholars back, welcoming them back from the Thanksgiving break to finish the year strong, finish their semester strong, give them that affirmation. We followed that up with the Career Day, because after they see those individuals, they want to know, well, how do I get to the bag? How do I secure me a bag in these professions that I don't see on TV and don't shoot no jump shot? And so we had a career day that exposed them to different careers. After that, we had a panel in which we had Myson and Trife as a part of the panel and able to give some insight in which they're able to navigate through the inner city, their urban city, to be the valuable part of the community that they are now. We're here. We came immediately here after that. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Radio 1. And we'll be leaving here going to the luncheon. It's an invite luncheon. Thank you to DJ Stand Up Baltimore that'll be at the garage. But after that, we ask everyone to come on down to the garage about 3:30 and be a part of the rally. We're going to be registering 100 volunteers to participate in Baltimore City Public Schools. Thank you to Sabrina Sutton, Rashad Stanton, and the Baltimore City Public Schools Office of Engagement, Family Engagement for that partnership. And then we'll be shutting it down. We'll be right back out here by you guys on Security Boulevard at Picasso Cuts 7171 Security Boulevard, in which we'll be facilitating a conversation and a meeting of the minds. And the objective is to bring 100 barbers together. And this is to have a synergy, if you will, a platform to strengthen the conversation and the narrative and objective of the 10,000 Strong that's being brought together by Dr. Bunley, Captain Andrew, and throughout the Office of African American Male Engagement, which we Keys provide the mental health for that office. So this is all a team effort, a collective of synergy throughout Baltimore City, Pat.
Man, this is just amazing. I saw Dr. Bunley. I saw a video the other day. I guess y'all were marching. Was that Saturday? Y'all were doing some things?
Yes, we were marching Saturday, and that's an important piece of why my son and Trife came down, is to also bring that energy from the Kings Stop Killing Kings rally. And when they said they wanted to come down and be a part of uplifting the city from that perspective, I said, hey, we gotta make sure some cohesion with the 10,000, with the call for 10,000, because it's all in the same light, and there's nothing better than bringing brothers together to make sure that we strengthen each other and uplift each other on the same platform.
I agree with you. Iron sharpens iron, the word goes. But are y'all registering voters? What are you doing? Are you doing anything to bring light to that?
Absolutely, because because one of the things that we know, especially in Baltimore, people want to know when you have these events, they was, what is it doing? What's coming from that, right? So we've heard that a lot of times. So some of the sustainable goals that you hear from today is to register 100 volunteers to participate in the Baltimore City Public Schools, because what we know is that often we say that, the change starts at home. Yes. A lot of these students don't have a home to go to. Right. So we're bringing a home in the schools, also to that 100 barbers. What I know, what you know, what we know in this room is that our first therapists are usually the barber.
The barber shop.
They know everything about us. Yeah. So we'll spill our problems. So what we know is that if we can bring...
And bartenders for some people.
Bartenders for some as well. Right. It's an age limit on that one though, right? So what we know is that if we can bring those barbers in one place, we can deliver the message of what we're doing in the streets. When you see us down in 1615 in East Baltimore, and we're touching those men in the streets and from that fisherman program, and able to bring that narrative back through the barbers, right? And they could take that in their smaller communities and strengthen that whole.
You've been with an organization that I've been trying to hook up with that deals with mental health. I don't see your partner here for years. Are you still working in that capacity?
Absolutely. Mental health, we know, is, as I say, is the equilibrium to the soul. People say eyes are the doorway to the soul, the windows to the soul. But we know that mental health is the equilibrium to the soul. Because if your mental health isn't right, you're going to be off balance. You're coming off that tightrope in a millisecond.
That's right, right. And you thinking you depressed, and really it could be something else. My niece is watching, who is a clinical psychologist, and we're getting ready to start doing some PSAs talking about mental health.
Absolutely.
Because we don't understand. Sometimes we be feeling weird. We think we're depressed. No, you might not be been sleeping like you normally sleep. No, you might be resting like you should. There are all sorts of things that we don't talk about. We get a stomach ache, we go get some Pepto-Bismol because we know what to do with it. But we not feeling good. We don't think about what we need to do for our minds. And so, absolutely, man. I think it's going to be a blessing. I know you guys are a blessing. I wanted to ask my friend here, how have y'all done that no murders in 500 days? What did you do? Can you help us out here?
Sure. I told you my reputation, where I come from, was classified as a gang member. I was known for violence. So I was known for carrying guns, shooting guns. So I flipped it, right? And I took that and said I will no longer be part of that. Now I'm going to use that reputation to talk to those who got the ability to pull that trigger. Like I did, right? If I could tell you to pull it, I could tell you not to pull it. Right, so we got a team, that's out here. Violence Interrupters, outreach team, 2 different brands. One mediate the conflicts, one reach out to the individuals who need assistance. You can't just tell them stop if you ain't got nothing for them. So we sit down and we walk when nothing is happening, and we just walk through our neighborhood and just building with them. So when something come up, they come to us with it, right? And we take that information and we go through our peoples who we know. We all got relationships, and we try to bring that issue to a cease, right? If it's minor, what's the conflict? How can we stop that from happening? Right? So we believe that first you got to stop violence is a disease, right? We want to contain it. That's right. Right? So we got to stop it from the transmission, right? So we interrupt that transmission of violence, right? So after you interrupt the transmission, then we focus on behavior change, right? So now if I'm telling you stop, now let me show you how I changed my behavior, and it's possible. Now after that behavior change, now you start to see the community norms change, right? And that's what we did. It take over time to showing them it's okay not to shoot, it's okay. Let me be that. Let me be the face saver for you. I'm gonna be the person that, all right, it was Trife told you, all right, chill. That's the only reason you chill. Other than that, you was gonna do it. We know that. All right, cool. But other than that, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna take care of that. That's on me, right? So do that, and being able to give them services and support, all the therapeutic mental health things. All those things are important. Who are you? What's causing you to respond the way you respond? What are your triggers, and how can we identify that and push you in a different direction? That's how we've been able to do it.
Man, I tell you, that's a blessing. What do you do? Because Flatbush, that's a little sort of a closed community. It's not like a whole city, the whole city of New York. You concentrated in that area. Correct. Where your feet were planted.
Correct.
And you made the difference there.
Correct.
Sound like Cherry Hill.
Right. That's like my brother Tater, Barksdale, and them, how they doing the work. We work with Tater. We know him very well, right? We just opened up a new space in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, projects, different neighborhood. And it's important, right? Because it's violence happening everywhere. Yeah. But in order for us to be effective, and that's why we support in Baltimore with the King Stop Killing Kings, they say in these neighborhoods, it's a small group. It's not everybody. It's a small group that's repeating the same cycle. So if you reach that small group and you focus on that small group, then you're bringing that violence down.
Man, listen, I listen. I once went in the preacher's office and he had a sign there that said, "When God created the earth, He didn't call a committee." Okay, I've done a lot of things in this city. We have with 2 little old ladies and myself. Okay, everybody else got all these opinions and stuff, and you ain't gonna get this, and you ain't gonna do this. And me and those 2 little old ladies, mine brought over $700,000 to our community. You know, and we went once we got the plans. We went to the community and said, "This is what we want to do. What y'all think?" Everybody voted on it or didn't vote on it, but we got the work done. Sometimes you don't need an army. You just need a few people that are willing to do the committee.
I started by myself. I started with my brothers, right, and now I got about 20-something plus staff members full time that's doing this work. Right, and I want to leave. You know, let everybody else get to talk, but I want to say with the mindset, right? You know, or they talk about community. There's no unity, right? We went back to how they say, "Where you from? Are you from the hood? Y'all from the hood?" See how y'all all identify that? That's how they identify and separate us by saying we from the hood. When they say you from the hood, that means the mindset is different because they took what's the first word? Your neighbor. Right, so we just they took the neighbor out the hood, so we just hood, and we got to change the mindset. And with that, the village, they say that who knows the saying? It takes a community to raise a village, right? We've identified that, but what we haven't identified is if it takes the community is to make that village to raise that child, then what we have to see is that it's also that community creates that villain. Right, it's the village that creates the villain, right? So we treating our community indifferent, right? We're creating a villain. We're creating our young people to respond the way they responded, right? So we killing us and the police killing us, and that's all we got, and that's all they see, and that's all they're going to do.
That's all they're going to do, man. I tell you what, this is so powerful. Jackson Brown wrote a song, and it says, "The fear of living for nothing strangles the will." And that's what's up with our young people. They don't think they're going to live to be 21 years old. So they just go, what the heck? You know, it's me or you. And that attitude. Our mayor said, our acting mayor said that he thought that they should build a boxing match or let the people let them fight it out and let them fight it out. Everybody thought that was a little nuts.
I'm all for it.
You think that's a good idea?
I think when we look historically, there's always been boxing matches, and if we
gladiator matches.
You know, not so much gladiator. I think the boxing thing, because boxing is a sport, you know, and a lot of times if you take that energy and you put it into something that's more constructive, is a lot better than people killing each other.
But what people say, but what if the person gets humiliated? Who gets humiliated?
That's what with boxing comes training. People box every day, and when you train, most trained boxers are disciplined, and you know when you start disciplining them, the main thing as a trained boxer is that you don't really want to administer harm. It's about disciplining yourself. It's about
to win.
It's about utilizing in the sports, and sports are a lot of things that discipline a lot of kids. And you see how they taking sports out of our communities, out of our schools. It's taking the discipline. When I was a young kid and I had all this energy and negative energy and all those things, and I was playing basketball, it was somewhere for me to funnel that energy. You know, when we went there, I burnt off of that energy. Even when I was angry, you know, I said I don't want to get into no trouble because I want to stay on the basketball team. So there was something to look forward to, and I think a lot of these young kids don't have that. But to pretty much piggyback off what he said is what we've done. Veggie back.
Thank you.
Veggie back, or what he said is what we've done is we've become credible messengers. We come from the same communities. We've been through the same things that these kids do, and we still speak the same language of the culture. We come from the hip hop culture, and we still speak that language. I utilize my music as being an artist to speak to those kids. I have the same conversations that the ones that are leading them to the negative, but I tell them the facts about it. I don't lie to you. I don't want to tell you something that's not true. I don't advocate for you to be in the streets because I'm telling you what the outcomes are from the streets. So they still relate to it. It still sounds sonically the same way. They still relate to me because I'm still of the culture. I'm still out there identifying what's going on with you. But it's credible messengers. It's not me talking at them or telling them what not to do. It's explaining them what's going to happen, the outcomes. See, if I'm just telling you don't do something, I'm not telling you why, and I'm not giving you outcomes. And in my life, is not a testament to what it is that you actually trying to live,
right.
then why should I have to listen to you?
Right, you're a propagandist.
So that's why he's able to, him and his community is able to stop the killings, because they understand he comes from that. When they look at him and say, oh, we remember Trife was out here. So for him to say that, we're making being nonviolent cool. See, that's what we reestablishing what cool is, and it's very important, because it's before it was being soft. Now, when you a real gangster, is when you can stop somebody from hurting somebody. That takes power.
Yes,
right. And when you were in that gangster mentality, you helped each other to get that paper. You're still in that same, brotherhood,
fraternal
brotherhood, and you're still showing people how to turn their lives around to get this paper.
It's right. It's a lifestyle. It's a mentality.
Right.
People don't. Gangster isn't gangs. It isn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a way of life.
Correct.
And that's what I represent. My organization, Gangsters Making Astronomical Community Changes. So I had to come out and be as I am. I ain't care who like me. What you got to say? I don't care. Right.
You got to take what they meant for bad and make it something good.
Yes.
So we making lemons. We making lemonade.
And then so an example is what we did from my past is that I look at prison that I went through as my school versus it just being a negative, right? It's always a negative, but I'm gonna make an education for me to come back, right? And that's how we using ours, like Mike's. Mike's story and everything that he did, and now taking that. Right, and that's how we linked up, because knowing his story, Mike's coming right this side, and then instead of coming home and being the negative, right, Mike's could be one of the top artists. We know Mike's, but the top of the charts if he was talking the same music, the drill music, it's different. But he said, no, I'm gonna be the difference to my community, and that's changed a lot of people. A lot of people now hearing through his voice, and they believe there's a different way to push that narrative.
There is. I've been for the past few years tutoring reading for 8 to 10-year-olds.
Nice.
Because after the third grade, they don't teach kids to read anymore.
No.
And our children, man, if they can't read, they are going nowhere.
That's a good point.
Just forget about it. And we need black men in there. Man, my kids, they come in and they see I'm with them that day. They get ready because we finna have some fun. I make them books come alive. They end up snatching the book out of my hand. Let me read it, Mr. Henderson. To love reading, not just to read, but to love it, because reading is information, and information really is power. But it helps you with your imagination. So I would like to work with you all and be in touch with you, so we can get some volunteers. We need black men.
I think it's important that you speak about that, because being intentional is very important, right?
Yes, man.
Something that we're intentional about is the pipeline of higher education and career tracks, right? If we know we have a pipeline to prison, we can't just talk about the pipeline to prison. What's the remedies?
Yes.
Right? So we're being intentional in our philosophy, to make sure that that's the narrative we pumping, and we have some actual tracks to divert that pipeline to prison. Pipeline of higher education and career check.
And just stop it. You know what I mean? So readingpartners.org. If anybody's interested in volunteering, 90% of the teachers are white. Listen to what I'm saying. So if they weren't there, there would be nobody there. Okay?
You gotta switch that energy up.
You gotta switch that energy.
And they need that bass.
They are good people. They understand the power of reading.
Yes,
We're strong narrators too.
Exactly. We love it. Listen, we're the greatest writers. We are history. And you know what? The one thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't have but 2 more minutes left, Jean, I can't get to you today, Bubba. I can't get back to you, Mark. There's something going on, and I believe it's the year 2020. The white people will be the minority in America.
I love it.
And the reason y'all seeing these Trumpites doing all this mess, they're doing this white supremacy, is because they know this, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that they hold on to this power.
That melanin is strong, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. But I want us to stop having abortions. I want us to start raising our kids. I want, as they fall down from the population, I want us to rise up. I want us to raise our children to be the kings that we are, educated. We can fill this void because they're they dying 2% every year. Okay?
But what we have to do is, because I work with a lot of women, and their argument is, our communities have to be safe enough to have children.
Yes.
They got to be conditions to where, it's not about birth reproduction rights. It's about reproductive justice. For them, it's like, if I have a kid, my kid might die. I might not. The community I live in is not even safe enough for me to have children. I can't even afford to have a child. So we have to change. We have to be intentional about changing the conditions in our community for our women to feel safe enough and feel for you to feel empowered enough to make sure they continue to reproduce.
I never thought of it from that perspective. Thank you. And I understand, because, man, then when I drive at night, and I'm sitting at a corner too long, and I see people standing on the corner, I run that light. I don't care whether it's got a camera or not. Okay, so I understand.
I respect it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I respect what you just said.
Right. But I'm laughing at that, but I don't like that.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Either,
no, that's not your fault though.
But
that's what I'm saying.
It's
not their fault.
It's a reality.
No, but you're an elder. And that you should be safe. You should know that. You should look at that corner and they look at you and say, "Yo, elder, you okay?" They should give you that nod. And no, all right.
Yeah.
So we got work to do.
Yes, and back to
protecting our community.
Yes, man, and loving one another.
That's right.
Well, I'm so sorry. We just had a small amount of time.
Right.
You all are welcome here anytime.
Yes, sir.
To come in and voice, to let the city know what you're doing,
or even call in.
Even if you can, just something going on. Yeah,
definitely.
We'll be rally. Where's the rally at today?
The rally, we're gonna be leaving from 6 Lafayette. The garage, we'll be leaving from the garage at 6 Lafayette at 3:30. Don't meet us there, beat us there.
Right. Yo, matter of fact, and I'm here, like I said, man, they always talk about the gangsters in the streets, man, and I'm here to speak for that. That's why I pulled them in Baltimore. We don't want to hear the nonsense. You got a family member you think they're involved, tell them pull up and talk to us, man. We're going to help them redirect the way they're going and show them there's a better way.
Yes,
tell them don't feel uncomfortable.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Everybody's welcome.
All right, well, I got started late, so Titus, thank you for letting me go over a few minutes. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Sia, for turning me on to this organization. Dr. Bunley, you know I love you and I appreciate you and respect you highly. All of you all that are out there working for our people, we are all we got. We're all we need. God bless. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next Sunday at 3:30 on 1400, and every Monday here at 11:30 on 1010. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Have a great week.